It's a thrilling day. There's probably not too many 14-year contracts ahead in my lifetime, but I hope there are, because in this case, the stars are aligned. I know I was nowhere near as mature as this 22-year-old adult is when I was 22. But he has a passion to do great things in his profession. There's a lot of trust, particularly between Fernando and AJ, which I'm sure came through pretty loud and pretty clear on the earlier Zoom call. But I generally believe in business. You do well when you have stability and excellence. And Eric and AJ recently signed fresh 6-year contracts, and it's a rare chance to like wake up the next day after we agreed to the contract and there's no doubt in your mind. This is a good thing to do for all parties concerned. Our franchise, our ball club, we were just down there as Jace addressed the team, and just the enthusiasm, players coming up and with big smiles on their face, looking around the teammates that they have, and significant to all of us is what a difference it makes for our fans to know they can go to Petco anytime we're playing for 14 years and see this remarkable talent and great person and a tough team for any other team in baseball to play.
Peter, how proud are you that the organization at this point is in a situation, both financially and systemically, that you can justify making this kind of an investment in a player like Fernando?
We're not a small market franchise. We represent the 8th largest city in America, and that's how we, kind of the trust I think that we have with our great city and our fans and the people that support us. And we ping pong back and forth with the city, meaning we hold up our end of the bargain. They've proven for years their support for this franchise. And, you talk about trust. That's how I view what we're doing now and for a long, long time to come.
When you became led up the ownership group for this organization back in 2012, I'm sure you had a vision of what this organization could eventually be. Now, you don't have the World Series trophy on your desk yet, but how close is this organization to fulfilling that vision that you have?
We talk about winning it this year. And I think at this time next year, we'll be speaking the same language. Baseball's a roller coaster. And if you don't like it, you should get off the roller coaster. We love it. Tatis loves it. Every 162 game season, it's a roller coaster. But I think if you trend up, and we believe we will, great things happen. While every season's a roller coaster, 14 years, that's a heck of a roller coaster. And we're delighted to be putting on our seatbelt and going for the ride. I'm very, very happy with it. It's certainly not going to be every off season that, we fill up a starting pitching staff and are as active as we have been, but it made sense to us this year. And, like all of us in Peoria right now, we're just thrilled to get going and looking forward to April 1st, where we start to show what we can do this year. Yeah, it's a pandemic, and the industry lost $2.9 billion last year. All of us never thought we'd be talking about a pandemic. It's the first one for everybody on this call's lifetime, and hopefully we never see another one. But to address your question, we've set ourselves up to be flexible, so we have the opportunity to be opportunistic when it does make sense. And, we make decisions really with 10 years in mind, not year to year to year, although we're cognizant of the current year. So, again, I just could not be happier with where we are in every way, business-wise, baseball-wise. And, I'll speak for the people of San Diego. We're the 8th largest city in America. There's nothing we can't do.
The payroll, and you have 4 guys this year that are going to be making more than like 12 teams in Major League Baseball. So you're really an anomaly of what's going on right now in Major League Baseball. And in your own division, you have you and the Dodgers separated from everybody else. What do you think the future of this is, even things out in Major League Baseball?
I believe in the game. I believe in America's pastime. And I, behind the scenes, take a careful look along with Eric and others in our organization as far as what's going on with the game. And I see and I believe in a great future. We're going to figure out how to intelligently bring the game to Generation Z, which is something that, maybe our kids are in or our grandkids. But the world is different today with all the digital stuff. And I think through the commissioner's office, we have great people progressively moving that side of the game forward. And I think that will continue to grow for us. Over the course of time, and in my heart of hearts, I hope in the sooner than later category, we're going to make some changes to the rules of the game. We have some in place this year. There's probably more to come. And there's a lot of, really thoughtful people that are experts in that area that love the game of baseball that are helping make that happen. And so I think this game is only going to get better and stronger year after year after year, and the pie is going to grow. That's a part of how we look at, how we view things. Does, is 340 the right number? Is whatever in the case of our young superstar? But we're going to continue to build this franchise. And, I see great upside for us. And yes, I'm well aware of the things immediately in front of us with the pandemic and other things. We're going to find ways to work through those. And that's some of the thinking behind the decisions that we make here.
How much fun is it for you doing what you're doing for, a city that really wants its own tradition like that?
It's a lot of fun. I think the word we use often around here, it's a responsibility. San Diego has grown to love the Padres, and we want to do something that this franchise has never done, not just win a World Series, but really build a generation of fans, the kids from first grade, younger, through high school, say, the parent of a 4-year-old kid right now can tell his or her child that they're going to be able to see one of the great players in baseball in their home ballpark until they become an adult. We love that possibility, and, we humbly accept that challenge.
Hey, Peter, given Tatis's talents, how he engages with the fans, his popularity, was there a sense of, obviously it was a sizable commitment to keep him in San Diego, but that it would have been more of a cost to let him get away? Just, this is a player you couldn't afford to let get away.
I'll say this, and then I'm going to ask Eric to comment, if it's okay with you.
Yeah.
It's a great question, because people talk about risk. What people don't so much talk about is the risk of doing nothing. And in this case, I've heard, the arguments, on both sides, like, why now? Why not wait? Why don't we wait? Why doesn't he wait? He wanted to do it. We wanted to do it. We were both clear-minded about it. And it made great sense. And personally, I didn't want to take the risk of doing nothing. Add to that?
Yeah, I would just say that, when you have a generational talent, which we believe Tatis is in your organization, and it's cast against the backdrop of a franchise that has probably been better known, with the exception of Tony Gwynn, for having prior generational talents, play a good portion of the back half of their career somewhere else. I think it's yet another sign of the commitment of ownership that this is not the same old Padres. It's not your Padres. This is a new gestalt. It's a new way of running this team, and we make these sorts of commitments to players that AJ and Peter feel are deserving of that level of commitment. And I think that's what you heard earlier today from AJ, and you've heard from Peter, is that it's the individual here. He's a generational talent, but everything that we've experienced and observed in him over the last 2 seasons, and before that, through his relatively brief minor league career, is that this is a young man who, as Peter said, is hungry to continually find areas where he can improve. He's humble. He carries himself with a tremendous amount of class, and he has a maturity that belies his age. And when you find that and map that on top of the 5 tools that he possesses that AJ spoke about earlier today, it's just great for me personally to be involved in a franchise that's willing to make this kind of a long-term commitment to that type of a player. And it's a change. It's a new Padres.